Ron Marsh, good evening. Deidre Melton, Simplified. Thank you. Bobo said so. It's my peoples. Thank y'all for being here. Doris Daniels, Jameer Bishop. I'm feeling some type of way today. Ramos Elizabeth, hola, ¿cómo está? Tiffany Williams, good evening. Alice Thomas. Malika Harris, how are you? Amunet Keisha, Lou Allen, hey there. Marsha Jeffrey McAllister. Hassana Marshall, Coretta Curtis. LaShawn Pace here, y'all. Wanda Pigeon Thomas, how are you? Good evening. Jesse Brown, Levita. Keep moving, keep moving. Elizabeth Allen, good afternoon. Thank you. Oh, great. The family, I thought it was good too. Shonda James, how are you? Henry Umana. Dorothy Corona, praise the Lord. Janice Reddick, how are you? Gloria Anderson. Stay safe. Richie Willie Love. Mary Flanoy, wow, good evening. How are you? Renee Holman. Y'all need to check LaShawn Pace out, man. Annette Jones, good evening. Shamika Gardner, how are you? Always, my Lord. Terrell Murray, how are you? Good evening. Gina Fagan. Mary Slade, how are you? Christiana Sandra Clark, blessings to you. Tawana Brown. Fumi Iyanu Ya Ladinde, good afternoon. I hope I got that right. A little bit. What's going on? Alessandro Aguilar. I don't know about that. We're planning it. Hajatina Duncan Smith, how are you? Beatrice Longwood. Thank you. Yeah, I love this song. Myra Crenshaw. Lala Prescott Taylor, how are you? Jewel Daniels, good evening. Yes, all is good. Lawrence Gibson, hold the line, brother. Jocelyn Britt, peace and blessings. Keith Parham, how are you? Keisha King, love it. Desiree Chisholm, Nadira Felix Muhammad, thank you. Amira Matula Rashid, how are you? Thank you. Lorraine Heyman. Yes, it will, Yvonne. Yes, it will. Karen Haynes, thank you. Paula Tracy, thank you. Diana Graham, Roberta Lofton, how are you? Woody Wood. Baba Ali, what's going on? Danny Harrow, thank you. Vivian Clark, praise the Lord. Janine Hall. Yes, we're going to continue these lives. I'm not going to give up on y'all. Marianne Darby, how are you? Alice George, how are you? Anderson Zanglacomi, good afternoon. Ardelia McElroy holding down the 6th Ward. Kalitha Colston Andrews, thank you. God bless you. Sandra Sanders Hall. This is LaShonda Pace. You got to check her out. Greetings, Aziza Kabidi, back with us. Henry Cummings. Denise Fafana. Eva Aquino. Lisa Bivens. What's going on? Harris Lely. How are you? Yolanda Rosario. Hola, ¿cómo está? Buenas tardes. Ernestine Carnacoto, good evening. El Monique Williams, good evening. Good evening. Sonia Patterson, Keisha Vasquez, Senida Gonzalez, Gwen Chandler, how are you? Good evening. Stephanie Brown Thomas, good evening. Good evening. Rosa Ludiver. We're in this together. We're in this together. Chris Evans, I'm going to get that right. CJ Hebron, good evening. Gloria Anderson. Elizabeth Rainey. Kettles. Yo, y'all you have to, whoa, that's serious there. That is serious. That is LaShawn Pace. You have to go check LaShawn Pace out. She moved me today. Like, you know, I needed that today, folks. I really did need that. That's serious. I mean, you know, just thinking this morning I was working out a little bit, and I was thinking, people thought this was the flu, right? So they were really depending on it going away when they get hot, and if it would have stayed in China, people would have just said this is a Chinese problem. If it would have went to China, then went over to Korea, they would say it's a Korean problem. Then it went to Italy, it was an Italian problem, right? Now it's in the U.S. and not just in the U.S. It hit the major cities first: L.A., New York, then us and all these other places, all over the place, being hit hard about this, and it hasn't gone away. It still hasn't gone away. It's the summertime and heat is still here, so it's not the flu, and we can't blame it on anybody. It's all of us are in it together, and I think that some of us still got our eyes closed. It got so worse and desperate we can't face what's really happening. So we made up all kind of mythology, and we didn't want to believe it. We closed our eyes and said the government was making it up. It was in the satellites, it was the 5G, and then it was doctors are saying people are sick. They're not really sick, and people dying in front of me. I don't know why. And 700 people dead. We can't figure it out. 100,000 in America. And it's people coming up with excuse after excuse after excuse. It's the place is flooding, and people refuse to build a boat still. Place is flooding. People still refuse to build a boat. And we just don't know, that this boat that we're supposed to be building, because we're supposed to be building a boat. You know that, right? We're supposed to be building a boat that'll shepherd us out of this thing, that'll get us out of this. But we come up with all kind of reasons why we shouldn't, and we drown. And, even when some of us are on the boat, like we get on the boat, right? And we built it and we're on the boat. Now we're jumping off of it. The water is seeding a little bit. The water is seeding a little bit down. We jump, and so we just jumping off the boat. So, I mean, it's serious, and really, we need all of your help. We need all of you out there, all of your help, to make sure that we continue this. Somebody wrote that we should continue to do these lives. I'm going to do them as much as I possibly can. I'm going to do these lives. They help me. I told you yesterday, it helped me as much as it helps you. Hopefully, we're going to stay at it, y'all. We're going to continue to spread information, stick together, encourage each other, inspire each other through this time, because I really believe that this was what this for. First coronavirus, then George Floyd, right? And then the tragedy that happens in our city, all of the things that are going on. Somebody trying to tell us something. I don't know if we're listening, but they're trying to tell us something. Somebody trying to tell us something. In Newark, 7,540 positive cases. That is an increase of 32 from yesterday. 609 deaths. We went days without any deaths, but we have 3 new deaths today. 18,235 positive cases in the county, 1,726 deaths. New Jersey has 165,413 positive cases with 12,384 deaths. East Orange, 1,903 cases, 204 deaths. Irvington, 1,360 cases with 143 deaths. Orange, 983 cases with 81 deaths. I don't have the zip code information for you today. We couldn't break that out. I apologize. I'll give you the numbers tomorrow, and you can calculate it tomorrow when you get the numbers. So I'm going to give you some tips of what you should be doing when you're out there. Some of the stuff you already know, right? You already know what you should be doing because we've been talking about it over and over and over again. And data says you have to hear something at least 13 times. That's wild. 13 times in order to get it, like for it to sink. You have to hear it at least 13 times. So when people say, "Oh, you're repeating the same things," you have to hear it a certain amount of times for it to sink in. So one, wear your mask. As we begin to reopen everything, you have to wear your mask. When you go into places, you need to make sure those people have on masks. You need to make sure people who you're talking to wear a mask, right? So we need to make sure everybody is wearing a mask. Don't listen to the president. He's a little off. All these other folks who are telling you things that are not scientific. Science is saying you should wear the mask. It is the way that you can help yourself reduce the chances that you can contract this virus by wearing a mask and being around other people who in fact have on a mask as well. That all of us should wear the mask, and it will reduce the chances that you catch COVID. Should you be wearing a mask all the time? No, obviously not. If you're alone, you shouldn't wear it. If you're walking down the street by yourself, probably not. If you're in the car, probably not. You're in your own home, probably not. So don't wear the mask unless you're around other people. That's the important thing. When you're around other people, that's when you should wear your mask. Don't leave home without it. Don't leave home without your mask. And keep it on when you're around people, right? And completely cover your nose and your mouth. See, I see some people, they just cover their mouth here, and they're talking to people who don't have a mask on, right? So they're talking, but your breathing is getting in, and so it doesn't make sense, right? So you should have all of it covered when you're talking to people or around people. We're having more mask giveaways soon, so be on the lookout for all of the mask giveaways, right? Wash your hands like you're crazy. Wash them every 2 or 3 minutes. Keep hand sanitizer on you. When you touch something, wash your hands. You touch your clothes, wash your hands. You touch objects, wash your hands. Even if you fist bump somebody, you wash your hands right after that. You don't even touch them with your hands. You just wash your hands. Wash your hands. Wash them hands every 2 or 3 minutes. Keep those hands washed. Keep those hands washed. Soap and water is the best way. Soap and water is the best way. But if you're not around soap and water, hand sanitizer will do. Soap and water. And then you have to keep your distance. If you have both of you have on a mask and you have a sufficient amount of distance, then you more than likely are covered, right? You have to keep your distance. You can't be in crowds, right? So people are standing out there in crowds. You can't be in a crowd. One, you shouldn't be in a crowd. Two, if you need to have on a mask. So you need to make sure that is in fact what you're doing. Avoid touching your face. And I have a habit of touching my face. Like I might touch my face 100 times a day. So I have to be very conscious and cognizant of touching my face, right? So I have a habit of rubbing my face like down and touching my head and my chin, all of that stuff. So we have to be very cognizant of touching your face. Do not touch your face. And get tested. Get tested. Some of these testing sites that we have, we're going to start taking them down, and we're going to start going mobilely to places more. We're going to start going mobilely to places up into communities and testing people, most vulnerable and folks that are out there. We're going to keep at least one testing site open in each ward, but we're going to start hitting areas mobilely so that we can get more people, because the testing numbers are going down. People aren't getting tested as much as they were before, but we need more people to get tested. Do want to say the East Ward folks are still coming out getting tested. That's a great thing. Continue to do that. We need you to be tested. You have to get tested 100%. And when you go into these places of business, you need to ask them, did they get tested? They need to have on masks. And if they don't have a sign in their window that says they have been inspected by the city, you should be wary of that place, leery of it, and not go in there at all. Zero. Walk away. Don't go in there. And speaking of that, if you do have a business, you need to go to NewarkCovid19.com, get your application, and then return it to reopening plan at NewarkNJ.com. Reopening plan at NewarkNJ.com, NewarkCovid19.com. And you can go to any of your business improvement districts, and you should know what those are in your neighborhoods in each ward. You can pick it up, a physical copy of it up, a hard copy, and turn it in that way as well. It is incredibly important. Today I was on a call. Some of you heard it. Thank all of those who represented, who showed up on a call for me on a webinar that I was on with the mayor of Atlanta, the mayor of Stockton, and the mayor of Phoenix, Arizona. One thing that stuck to me is that the mayor of Phoenix said that they had to start establishing emergency protocols for hospitals because they opened up and now they're being overwhelmed with a spike in new cases. There are at least 14 states that are witnessing significant spikes in new cases since June, since they opened up, right? Since they began opening up, they've experienced significant spikes in cases. And I'm prayerfully that won't be New Jersey, right? We have to do what we're supposed to do. But they had to establish emergency protocols for hospitals because the spike in those cases went up. It is really, 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 really essential for us to be cautious and careful about how we move around, when we open up, and what we're doing. I know the governor, the state, and everybody is saying, you know, everything, there's no stay-at-home order. You can go outside when you want. Most of these stores are going to be opening up soon. They're opening up beaches, pools, everything that are going to be open. So you have to be careful, and your children have to be careful, and the people who live in your home have to be careful, and the people you care for need to make sure that they're careful. Your neighbors, everybody, have to look out for your entire family. So let's just be very, very cautious. Be very, very cautious out here that things are opening up. I do not want to have a spike in Newark. We worked too hard, y'all. 3 months in, we worked hard to drive our numbers down. We want to stay there, and we want to consistently be on that path of having low numbers, and we want the numbers to get even lower. And the only way we do that is we're careful, because if you're not going to stay inside and you're going to be outside, then you have to be cautious of what's going on. That's why this leg of the race belongs to you. This is your leg of the race. This is the community's leg of the race. It is the district leader's leg of the race. It is the block association's leg of the race. It is your leg of the race to run, right? The head of your family's leg of the race to run. The community organization's leg of the race to run. You have to take this baton and run us over the finish line. You have to run us over the finish line. We need your help. We need your help. Let's try starting Saturday, right? June 13th, this Saturday. Here are where the dumpster locations are going to be. Dumpster location, South Ward, June 13th, Saturday, Pomona Avenue and Parkview Terrace. There'll be a dumpster on Pomona Avenue and Parkview Terrace. There'll be one on Leslie and Chancellor Avenue, Leslie Street and Chancellor Avenue. Wainwright Street between Chancellor and Lyons, Wainwright between Chancellor and Lyons. Shepherd Ave between Osborne Terrace and Bergen Street. Shepherd Avenue between Osborne Terrace and Bergen Street, and Ludlow Street, In the Clinton Hills, South 12th Street by the IYO. South 12th Street by the IYO. Ingram Place between Millington and West Runyon. Ingram Place between Millington and West Runyon. Homestead Park. Shanley Avenue between Clinton Avenue and Madison Avenue. Shanley Avenue between Clinton Avenue and Madison Avenue. South 18th Street between Avon and Clinton. South 18th Street between Avon and Clinton. These are what dumpsters are going to be. We need you to be cleaning up your blocks. Get your neighbors to clean up your blocks. Clean up in front of your house. Let's do clean up like you've never cleaned up before. DPW will be out there cleaning up too. The whole South Ward will be out there. And any of our neighbors in the other wards, you can come and help us out. I'm going to be out there cleaning up in front of my house in the South Ward. So we all going to be doing it. And you can pick up supplies if you need supplies. You can pick them up at the Clinton Avenue Community Soundstage. That's Clinton and Peshon, big stage right there. You can't miss it with the artwork on the sidewalk. Or you can go to the Bull Porter Sports Complex on 378 Lyons Avenue. Bull Porter Sports Complex, 378 Lyons Avenue. You can go there and pick up supplies. The other wards will follow that. So we're going to do this in every single ward, and we're going to do it until we are comfortable with the way the city is looking in terms of cleanliness, right? So we have an information and education committee. If you'd like to volunteer for our information and education committee, please put your information up here. Somebody will grab it if you want to volunteer. And these are people like in specific wards where we see hot spots. We're going to go to these areas, pass out masks, pass out literature, convince people to go in the house, to stay inside and not hang out when they don't have to, and to get tests. We're going to have tests present so they can be able to take the test right there on the spot. But we need help. We need you to wear a mask. We need you to be involved. If you're going to be involved, you got to follow instructions. Bring your own hand sanitizer and bring a mask with you, because we're going to be doing some work to pass out stuff in your neighborhood, in your community. But please put your information up here if you're willing to help us do those things, because we need the help. This Sunday, I'm having a conversation with Black law enforcement officers this Sunday, June 14th at 2 p.m. on this Facebook Live. Sunday, June 14th on this Facebook Live at 2 p.m. We're having a conversation with Black law enforcement officers to talk about the culture of police, African Americans' relationship in the police department, and what everybody thinks about George Floyd and this whole defund the police thing that's being talked about. And we're going to talk about everything. We're going to get to to the nitty gritty. So come out virtually on June 14th, this Sunday at 2 p.m. on our Facebook Live, and you will not be disappointed. We're gonna have a great conversation with a lot of the leaders, African-American law enforcement leaders around this state, including our own chief, Chief Donnell Henry, born and raised in the Central Ward, will be on the call with us as well. I want to remind you to do that 2020 census. We're going to have it all over the place. 2020census.gov. You call 844-330-2020, 844-330-2020. You don't need the PIN number. You can just put your address, and they will, in fact, take your information if you do that. So do not feel like because you don't have the PIN number that you can't put the information down, because you'll be able to put the information down, and we need you to. I'm gonna read a poem again by Just T. She keeps sending me these poems, man. I love it. I know there's something better down the road. We need to find a place where we are safe. We walk into that which we cannot yet see. Say it plain that many have died for this day. Sing the names of the dead who brought us here, who laid the train tracks, raised the bridges, picked the cotton and the lettuce, built by brick the glittering edifices. They would then keep clean and work inside of praise song for struggle, praise song for the day, praise song for every hand-lettered sign, the figuring it out at kitchen tables. Some live by love, thy neighbor as thyself. Others by first do no harm or take no more than you need. What if the mightiest word is love? Love beyond marital, filial, national, love that casts a winding pool of light. Love with no need to preempt grievance in today's sharp sparkle. This winter air, anything can be made, any sentence begun. On the brink, on the brim, on the cusp, praise song for walking forward in that light. God bless y'all. Thank you. Godspeed. See you tomorrow.